Well, hello, and welcome to another episode of the Ball and All podcast. My name is Mpho. I am the host of the Ball and All podcast. We've been going on for about close to a year now. I've been podcasting for different on different platforms and different names, but this name, the Ball and All podcast, been going over a year, and it's really good to be back after the All-Star break. We had a really lovely All-Star weekend. Really good to see Steph put on a show, 52 points, 16 threes, breaking records as he went along. He just looked a class above everybody else. There were some nice dunks in the game, which is one of the questions for me. It was like, okay, maybe we should do the slam dunk contest either at halftime or in the game with the All-Star. So there's a MVP and a slam dunk contest champion based on one of the best dunks that somebody could do in the game. But that is it. But today I am not here to talk about that. I'm about to talk about something that has captured my imagination and the imagination of a continent. That is the Basketball Africa League. It is the second edition, number 2, 2022. And this time it's bigger than ever. You've got 12 teams, same amount, but still very big. 2 conferences, 30 regular season matches, an 8-team playoff in Kigali, as well as a 1 winner. And we're going to get through all of those. I'm going to be taking you through. I'm going to be podcasting pretty much frequently throughout the season to keep you abreast of what's going on. I'm going to do the opening ceremony. That's going to be next week Saturday on the 5th of March in Senegal, in Dakar. And we're going to be coming through that. And I'm going to go through Egypt when 6 other teams play. And we're going to keep going until we get a champion. So that's going to be very exciting. And I hope you are excited too. So just to get ourselves back into the swing of things, remember, please do like and subscribe to our channel, the YouTube channel, the Ball and All podcast. Also follow me on Instagram and Twitter. This season, the Basketball Africa League is different. Remember, last year, due to COVID, we had 1 teams coming into Kigali in Rwanda, and essentially they played each other. It was split into groups as well, 4 groups of 3 groups of 12 teams, and they played each other for the rights to be Basketball Africa League champion 1, and the champions ended up being Zamalek of Egypt. They were playing in the FIBA Intercontinental Cup just recently, as by virtue of being African champions. And so this time it's slightly different. It's quite interesting. Obviously, in Kigali, teams only played 3 games, and then they went into the playoffs, which was essentially quarterfinals and semifinals, and that's how it ended up. But in this one, it's quite different. You've got two conferences, the Nile Conference and the Sahara Conference. The Sahara Conference will be the first one to go. That'll be based in Senegal, and then the Nile Conference based in Egypt. And then the top 4 teams out of the 6 teams in the conference will go to Kigali to play in the finals. They'll play. It's an 8-team playoff, so it's single elimination, quarterfinal, semifinal, final. Anything goes, anything can happen. We've already gone through the qualifiers. We went through the qualifiers late last year in 2021. We've gotten our teams through, and now we're just going to be coming through. I'm going to be talking about all of that as we go along. Really excited to be able to do this with you in this format. For this coming season. Please do support. Please let everybody know. But let's get into the thick of things. I've got a graphic I'm going to put up. I'm going to discuss. This is the conference I was talking about. You've got the Nile Conference and the Sahara Conference. The Sahara Conference is going to start now on the 5th of March and will end on the 15th of March. And then you also have the Nile Conference that will start a month later on the 9th of April, and it will continue until the 19th of April. The quarterfinals will be in May, on the 21st of May, and the semifinals will be on the 25th of May, and the finals will be on the 27th and 28th of May. So that's going to be, and that will be in Kigali. But the teams have been split into two. We've had qualifiers, and we're going to talk about all the teams to give you a lay of the land and see how it is. So the first conference, the Sahara Conference, has the first team at the top that you see there. It's the Senegal Dakar University Club out of Senegal. They are the Senegalese champions. They beat AS Douanes in the final of the Western Division to make it in, but they then made it in of the Western Division to make it into. They made it in by virtue of being champions of Senegal, and so that's really awesome. They beat AS Douanes. Remember, the last Senegalese team to be in BAL1 was AS Douanes. They beat them in the final of the Senegalese Championship, and they made it in as the Senegalese qualifier. You also have SLAC, SLAC, which is the Seydou Legacy Athletic Club out of Guinea. They made it through as runners-up in the Western Division in qualifying, and they are making their debut as well into this tournament. So that's going to be quite interesting to see, especially because this is the first game of the tournament. SLAC and DUC, two debutants playing together, playing against each other. So it will be quite interesting to see. Obviously West African basketball, tall, long, rangy, lots of big wings, very fast-paced style of basketball compared to elsewhere on the continent. So that's going to be quite interesting to see. You've also got CFE Beira, which is the Ferroviário de Beira. They're the Mozambican champions. They came through the Eastern Division in the qualifiers. They were the winners of the Eastern Division, which were held, the qualifiers were held here in Johannesburg, where I'm at right now. You've also got US Monastir. They are a returning team by invitation. They are the Tunisian champions. They were the finalists of Basketball Africa League One, losing to Zamalek in that entertaining final. If you want to go through the recap of Basketball Africa League One, I have all the videos are up there on my YouTube channel, so just have a look there. And if you want to just recap as to what happened, then we've got the Rwanda Energy Group from Rwanda, the basketball club. They beat the Patriots. Remember, the Patriots came fourth in Basketball Africa League One, losing out to Petro de Luanda. The Rwanda Energy Group became the the Rwandan champions, beating Patriots in the final to qualify for Basketball Africa League. I love how competitive it is. That you thought some teams that were there last year would be here. Actually, we've only got like 4 teams that are returning, and everybody else is effectively new. You've also got 5 teams returning, I beg your pardon. You've also got AS Saleh out of Morocco. They are a returnee Moroccan champions. They're a very good team, very big team. Remember the likes of Terrell Stoglin, who was winner of the scoring title in the previous season. He scored the most points, and he averaged the most points in the Basketball Africa League. Moving across to the Nile Conference. So in the Sahara Conference, essentially the big hitters here are Monastir, Saleh. I would put Beira in there as a division champion, and then the other teams, REG, Rwanda Energy Group, SLAC, and DUC. I think you might get DUC getting that 4th spot, but that's what makes it so interesting, is that anything can happen. Last year we thought Saleh would make it into the semifinals. They didn't. It was they missed out. They missed out on the semifinals because the Patriots actually took their spots. That was quite an interesting thing last season. So I think that the big fishes here, Monastir and Saleh, because they're returnees. Beira, because I think basketball in Mozambique is very advanced, and so too. Then you get DUC as well out of Senegal. Them beating AS Douanes, who were a really great basketball team in Basketball Africa League One, says a lot about who they are. So those are going to be the guys, and also REG beating the Patriots to qualify. They're probably going to be a surprise package to watch out for. In the Nile Conference, that's going to be held in Egypt in April. The champions of Basketball Africa League One, Zamalek, they'll be returning to try and defend their crown. Good thing that they're starting in their home country. Their first game is against, let me just get that for you. The first game of that Nile region is against Cobra Sport of South Sudan, who Cobra Sport were incredible in the qualifiers here in South Africa. They were runners-up in the East Division. They were really a very good basketball team. They got tall. They have length. really good defensively, and also just very good efficient scorers. I really loved watching them play. So that was a good one. And then we've got a team from South Africa, the Cape Town Tigers. They qualified through the East Division. They were the third team to qualify through the East Division. They made it in for their debut. Cobra's also making their debut out of South Sudan. So are Cape Town Tigers out of South Africa. Really important to have a South African team in there, not because of necessarily my allegiances, but the growth of the game on the continent in Africa's second largest continent needs to be represented, especially without having the Nigerian team that is Rivers Hoopers, who were disqualified. Well, Nigeria was disqualified from the Basketball Africa League, won the Nigerian champions largely because they couldn't get their league running in time for this, because they had a spot to be able to make it into, but they didn't make it in time. Petro de Luanda, the third place team out of last year's Basketball Africa League One, really lovely basketball side, massively sharp shooting side. I think the Southern Africans, and I include Angola and Mozambique and maybe even the Cape Town Tigers, they're reliant on a lot of their perimeter shooting. They're very strong in that. And Petro de Luanda last year were one of the best. They were very big. They had bigs who could shoot threes. And I'm just going to be interested to see if they bring them back this year to Basketball Africa League as well. Espoir Fukash out of the Democratic Republic of Congo. They're also a team that came through the qualifiers. They placed third in the West Division. They're going to be quite interesting to see in terms of how the growth of the continent. You can see now big regions are now coming, big countries are coming. DRC, you've got South Africa, you've got Angola. The only country that's essentially is missing is Nigeria. So you can now start to see countries and teams taking the Basketball Africa League very seriously. And now it's really good to see from Espoir Fukash coming through as the champions of the DRC and also third place team in the division. And then you've got the four armed forces and police of Cameroon, FAP. They were really good as well in Basketball Africa League One, a team that ran quite a lot. They pushed the ball up and down the court. Also very long, tall. West Africans like to play through a lot of their forwards, have very big guards. It's not a lot of guard play like maybe in Southern Africa. The playmakers are their wingers, and they can effectively field a full five of just rangy wingers, rangy defenders. It's going to be quite interesting to see how FAP comes to, because they defended with one of the best defensive teams in Basketball Africa League One. Looking at the Nile Conference from a predictions perspective, if you wanted to know, I think Zamalek being the champions will be up there. Petro de Luanda, as expected. FAP top three, maybe even FAP with Cobra Sport. Be interesting to see how FAP plays with Cobra Sport in that game. I think Cobra Sport could be the surprise package. I think the Cape Town Tigers and Espoir Fukash being the third place runners up in their qualifying groups, they're going to be want to make a statement, and so it's going to be quite interesting to see how they do. They are debutants, so it might take a while, but remember, anything can happen in the game of basketball, and so that's going to be quite interesting to see how that goes. So really enjoy, think this season is going to be great. If anybody from Basketball Africa League is looking for a commentator, I'm no guy. If you need me, I'm there. I might be in Senegal for that second week, for the back end of the obviously COVID permitting and everything permitting of the Sahara Conference. So we can try to be there, take photos, pull them out, bring them onto the podcast, maybe see if I can get an interview or two that I can do, like an add a video clip here and there for this podcast. Really excited for the season. Remember, All in All podcast will be giving you all the information and all the recap on BAL 2022 or BAL 2.0. So I'm really excited for this next year of Basketball Africa League 2022 for myself and Mpho and the rest of the Ball and All podcast team, which is myself. Remember to follow me on the various platforms and interact with me, DM me, let me know what you think, even send through comments. So really excited for this. It starts next week, Saturday, and we'll be talking lots more basketball. The second half of the NBA season is going to continue, so I'll be doing that, as well as the Basketball Africa League podcast. Just wanted to give you guys a preview of what's going on, of what's going to be happening. If you are in Dakar in Senegal, please do get tickets to go watch. It's going to be insane and amazing basketball at the Dakar Arena. From myself, Mpho, goodbye, and lesale kakariso.